Some amazing insights so far, and we still have a lot of very excellent content remaining. Now, here to shed some insight on building a global blockchain hub is Draper Goren Holm's founding partner, Josef Holm, DMCC's executive chairman and CEO, His Excellency Ahmed bin Sulayem, and CV Labs co-head Tracy Trachsler.
All right, welcome back, everyone, and I'm very excited to be joined today by two wonderful gentlemen that have already been introduced by Jessica, but I will take the liberty of doing so again myself. So on the one hand, of course, we have His Excellency Ahmed bin Sulayem. He is Executive Chairman and CEO of DMCC. And we are joined by Josef Holm himself, founding partner of Draper Goren Holm. Gentlemen, welcome. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Tracy. It's great to be here.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
so
you
to kick things off, Ahmed, first question will, of course, go out to you before we talk about blockchain and crypto. And for those in the audience who may not be familiar with DMCC, can you give us an overview of the DMCC, its history, its mission, and of course, what sets it apart from the other free zones in Dubai?
DMCC is one of the most unlikely projects to ever work in Dubai. I recall His Highness announcement when he unveiled the project back in 2002, April of 2002, and one of his statements was, in the coming years, Dubai will capture around 50% of the gold trade. Well, we have evolved and grown since then, and I think we had a big jump from the global recession times, where we only represented 1,000 companies, and from then we were registering on average 2,000 businesses per year. We're closing into 20,000 businesses by the end of this year. That credit goes to the support of His Highness from day one. I joined in 2001 during the conception time. I believe I'm the last founding member still working in DMCC. We had to look at key projects, providing ecosystems. Even if we didn't have anything to do with the business or no history here and there, as an example, the diamond industry did not exist prior to DMCC. We worked on establishing the Dubai Diamond Exchange, which then also joined the World Federation of Diamond Bourses. Israel was one of the first countries to accept the Dubai Diamond Exchange, despite the political situation at the time, and in the hopes that things would change in the coming years. And just last year in August, the peace treaty was announced. So it took a while, but things grew. In 2004, we announced that we're launching a gold and commodities exchange, the first online futures commodities exchange. And it's no secret, our benchmark really was ICE exchange from Atlanta, New York. We benchmark a lot to Jeff Sprecher. I don't think we'll match him, but that's where we are. And we grew from there. We introduced gold futures, silver futures, currency pairs. Our technology provider was FTIL, later on Cinnober, and beginning of last year, NASDAQ bought Cinnober, so we're a NASDAQ-powered exchange today. We're a lot more than that as well. We're the master developer of Jumeirah Lakes Towers, over 78 towers. We developed the Almas Tower, the tallest diamond tower in the world. It's, I believe it's still the tallest office tower in the Middle East. Height-wise, it's about 67 floors. It's also where the DMCC Crypto Center is based. I always wonder if the crypto community are happy walking around Diamond Tiers. There are synergies, opportunities of tokenizing a diamond here or there. I keep jumping back and forth. What's important to know about DMCC is that we started off by assigning experts in their respective fields. So we had a director of commodities and agri. We had a director of gold and precious metals. We had a director of diamonds, and it changed from year to year. Today, it's different. We're maintaining a community of over 60,000 people working in DMCC and over 100,000 people living in JLT. The ecosystem is amazing. We have Aviv Clinic that does treatment on reverse aging, people with trauma. It's a product of Ishai Efrati and some partners. So they have a branch in Florida. They have one in Tel Aviv, the original one, and the new one in Dubai. It's attracting a lot of businesses. When we looked at the blockchain business, I was just chairing the Kimberley process around the time, and I didn't want to be involved. It was something new to me. But we looked at things like traceability. We looked at data sharing, things that could help the diamond industry. It's better than having it in a cloud system. Countries won't trust each other in the cloud system, but in a blockchain system, everybody has control, has access to it, and it's less chances of manipulating. So since then, things have changed. We avoided giving any license that goes beyond proprietary trading. We didn't want to be involved in that until the regulatory system was in place. And I feel that the UAE is one of the fastest growing crypto community in the Middle East, at least. But we're careful, and we want to do this right. And the growth process has been great. Going back to the DMCC community, I mentioned the diamond side. We have 3 operational gold refiners. One of them is, and 2 more coming up with REIT development. Tomorrow, I have a groundbreaking ceremony with Enzo Napoleon, and his refinery, precious metals refinery, is going to be a blockchain-backed refinery. And he has some aspirations in that field, which I'll let him talk about it at some point. Going back to other products, we're also the largest oil and gas and renewable energy free zone, with over, I believe, 2,000 businesses, and still growing. So I feel there's a lot more that DMCC can do with CV Labs. Just off the bat, expect me to be introducing them to the diamond community, to the gold community. I am going to be inviting key players from the crypto world to talk during the precious metals conference that's coming up. I believe last year the gold industry didn't perform as good as it should have been. I don't think it did as bad as the oil industry going to -60, but it was slow. And I think what bothered them most, I believe, that Bitcoin, I mean, if you allow me to say, kicked its butt as far as moving
Definitely
value
stole
around
some of its
that.
thunder, right?
And I believe you're going to see businesses like Paxos looking at tokenizing gold here and there. I'm just watching this and enjoying this. I don't have really a dog in this fight. I'm learning from this, and I do wear multiple hats. I think during the GITEX event, I went to one of the I had a talk, and I held the UAE gold bullion coin in one hand, and I held the Bitcoin Swiss e-wallet on the other hand. And I was joking, like, yeah, it's great for asset value. You know, it's an Ethereum loaded e-wallet, but you need to buy something of value, and I would play with it over there. But it's a subjective matter at this stage. At some point, things will settle, and how the internet is standard today, and having social media standard, having a LinkedIn profile standard, I doubt any business will be seen with any respect by not having any crypto related part of its portfolios. I just don't see it happening. Just like in early 2000, consultants were pushing multinationals to have at least 5 to 10% of their assets in gold. It's going to happen this way. It's called, it's basically avoiding putting your eggs in one basket.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I think you've already touched on a number of things that we will definitely follow up on in the remaining conversation. But before we continue, I want to give a quick word to, of course, Josef. Now, for those who may not know you and or Draper Goren Holm, and they definitely should if they've been watching the LA Blockchain Summit all day, but just for their sake, in case they don't, could you give us a quick introduction as to who you are and how Draper Goren Holm is active in the blockchain space?
Yeah, sure. First of all, Ahmed, thank you for joining us today. It's late here in Dubai. I really appreciate you taking the time. So we invest in early stage blockchain startups. My partners, Tim Draper, along Goren and I, we look for the best teams with the best ideas, and then we help them scale and grow successful businesses, which is also something we've started to do here in Dubai. As you know, we've worked with CV Labs very closely. We're building our own incubator here that is also located at the DMCC Crypto Center, and we're expanding from California to Dubai to grow our local presence.
All right, perfect, which is a nice lead into the next questions that I have for you two gentlemen. So first off, On Ahmed's side, you've already mentioned the various, industries that you guys touch on with the DMCC. So I'd be curious to know on your end, what made you decide to expand the DMCC focus to include blockchain and crypto, and of course create the DMCC Crypto Center as a result? And on Josef's side, you just mentioned that you guys are slowly but surely creating your foothold in Dubai. So I'd be curious to know how exactly it is that you came to make this decision, what prompted that move, and how does Dubai differ from Silicon Valley, which is where you guys, have, that was sort of your previous playground. But Ahmed, let's start with you on the DMCC Crypto Center.
I personally blame James Bernard. He pulled me to join the Blockchain Council in 2015. I mean, every time he talks to me, I say, no, leave it to the experts. No, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there. I went to the first meeting. Noah Rafford was there. And, he explained it. He explained the efficiency, he explained how much time it would save, cost it would save. And also, I think the part that stuck with me is, yes, we don't all know about this industry, but we learn on the way. And that, I have to say, maybe he said it in passing, maybe it was scripted or not, I don't know, but it did resonate with me, and I'm like, okay, fine, I can go with that. I mean, you could say that about DMCC and the diamond industry. You could say that about DMCC in the gold industry. You can actually say that about us with the tea and coffee business. Dubai today re-exports over 60% of teas globally. And I've just made a decision barely a year ago to triple the size of our facility on the tea center. And we're looking to add medicinal and herbal teas processing within our facility as well. On the coffee side, we have a 15,000 square meter temperature controlled storage facility, processing of green coffees, roasting, and now we've added barista training and competitions, roasting competition and roasting training. I'm also looking to triple the size of the coffee center. 8-10 months ago, that would have been seen crazy, but after my business trip to Brazil and Mexico, not so much. We will face the issue of not having enough space. We have a 5 kilo roaster, 30 kilo roaster, a 60 kilo roaster. I understand from my team, they're about to order or receive 380 kilo roaster with plans of bringing in a 600 kilo roaster. These are orders based on new developments and orders of 5-6 years. So it's not us building it or bringing it and then say the market will come. We know what's happening. There are some changes, and Dubai will be redistributing a lot of these commodities, whether it's meat from Western Australia or coffees from Latin America and other markets. China, and we're looking at bringing in a cacao center in the near future, and the landscape on cacao is changing as well as we speak. China started producing cacao from the Hainan Island, and last year was the first time for China to export their cacao to the EU. So there's a lot changing, and I'm proud to say that DMCC seems to be not only in touch with where the market is today, but actually does it set up to be positioned to where it will be. And in some ways, it looks like that's the case on the crypto side. I don't want to say we're going at the speed of the weakest link or someone in the middle. We just want to make sure that we have everything that's needed from the consumer side or someone that's looking to create a business. And the key thing for me is education. Just push the education side. So expect more and more videos coming out of DMCC, stories coming out of DMCC, and we're going to learn on the way. Does that mean every crypto business will be a success? No. But at least you're not going to have the nonsense that we've been seeing with the financial institutions from the global recession, and after that with banks taking deposits, not returning it, and you as one of their clients, you can't even sue them. That's ridiculous. At least have control of your product, and all it takes is learning and educating yourself. I'll tell you why I don't have crypto on my phone and stuff like that. I lose stuff. I want to call a bank and say, hey, I lost my card. Could you help me? I feel I can't do that, but I'm sure someone is going to set me straight and say, hey, you could work with this and that. So that's fine. I'm sure at some point I'll jump in, but that doesn't mean I don't provide an ecosystem for those who need it. And the point I make again and again in these events is maybe in your place or in your environment, you don't need to be involved in Bitcoin or Ethereum or something, but that doesn't give us the right to cut the line of in Argentina or Lebanon where they have zero option. So I understand it from a humanitarian point of view. It is important that all options are available.
All right, Joseph, Ahmed's made his motives very clear. What about you?
So, going back to your question, the difference between Silicon Valley and Dubai, in our view, is that it used to be the case that if you're a technology startup, you at some point have to move to Silicon Valley to make it. There was not much going on outside of the valley. Blockchain and decentralized autonomous organizations and crypto have changed all that. And even more so that you don't have to move there anymore, we see almost an exodus of companies from the United States moving away. And I have multiple conversations on a weekly basis with our portfolio companies and other startups that are contemplating moving to Switzerland, moving to Dubai, leaving the United States because the regulatory environment isn't very friendly. Coming to Dubai, you experience something completely different, right? They're not just trailblazers like Ahmed and the DMCC that have, started with gold and diamonds and oil and now move into crypto and just pave the way for startups to come and to create that regulatory framework that gives startups the certainty to operate under a legal framework that also for us as investors, right, is very, very important to back these projects. You don't really see that in the United States. If you launch a crypto project in the States, it's almost like Russian roulette with the SEC, right? Are they going to come after you? What are they going to come after you for? What are they going to hold against you? How hard is the hammer going to come down? And that's just not a very good environment. And I remember I lived in California for 10 years. I moved there because it still back then was that kind of place. It no longer is though, so that for us, we look at Dubai as a place where, we expect thousands of companies to move here, which obviously means a lot of deal flow for us and a lot of investment opportunities for us. And at the same time, we can help those companies here still build that bridge to the United States, which is still a very big market and very important. And so for us, it's a perfect synergy between the Middle East and the United States and California. And that's our main reason why we're here and why we're building a team here and expanding our operations.
So you're bringing your expertise in building that bridge. Is that fair to say?
And mostly, yes, and capital, of course. We bring a lot of capital to invest in startups here, and our network in the United States that is very, very strong and that can help companies scale internationally.
You've just mentioned a key word, networks, right? So when we look at what it takes to build an ecosystem and maintain an ecosystem, I think opportunities to collaborate are a key factor in making that happen. So Ahmed, on the DMCC side, you guys are working closely, of course, with CB Labs in the form of the DMCC Crypto Center. What is the role of the Crypto Center in sort of the greater picture of Dubai becoming a global blockchain hub?
It depends how you look at it. You can look at it as a co-working space that provides everything you need within the capabilities of what the UAE can provide and DMCC's licensing authority can provide. But at the same time, I know that CB Labs takes the extra mile, will find you solutions. I mean, you're talking about the tech world here. It doesn't mean that everyone working there is just talking to the person on the desk. They're engaging with people in China. They're engaging with people in Singapore, New York, and all these places. Touching on network and all that, I know that Silicon Valley outsources some of its business. A lot of it, maybe not just to India, but on the call center. A lot of the tech businesses come from India. A lot of the tech giants have CEOs who come from India. So, and I mentioned that a few times, but what I didn't see until a few years ago, that Romania is one of the places that is outsourced or utilize backs some of these some of those tech valleys. So all of these places are just one flight away from Dubai. I think we have an opportunity to move pretty fast, and I think there's another wave of culture coming in. This is not the new Facebooks or the new Twitters or something. This is something different, and they are looking to disrupt as much as it is to bring in money to the business and all that. And I've enjoyed conversations about new products, about social media mining, whether that's going to work or not. But it's beautiful. I love the ideas that come with it. We expect more to come out of the Crypto Valley and DMCC, but at the same time, I do take a step back and watch how things are. We're at a very good momentum. We have in our offices a gauge that shows us the perception, and it's always been like 40 to 55%. But I think a month or two after the crypto center was rolled out, it jumped to 60, and now it's 75%. That's a good indication that the new generation is coming in. I've heard this. I've heard this statement a few times. They won't allow it. It's too perfect. It's too this. Yeah, but you guys are aging out. You are moving out. I think people forget that we're not only standing on this planet, but we're standing on a time frame here. And the old mentality is moving out. And you either adapt, and pivot, or you get left behind. And I'm just having fun watching it. I don't think it's going to kill any specific industry, but if you look at how DMCC handles a few of the businesses, we welcomed lab-grown diamonds a few years ago. It wasn't popular. I was just at the JCK show a few months back, and there was a big part of the show just on lab-grown diamonds with new designs, diamond cuts that you cannot do with natural diamonds because they have the opportunity to grow it. And they're a bit naughty with how they describe their stones. What's the difference? Not very much. We do exactly what nature does to a stone. I'm not going to get involved in that fight, but all I'm saying is there's a place for everyone, and the crypto is going to be here for a long time. Whether it's about crypto music, cryptographics, in the tech industry, in the medical industry, and new opportunities that's going to pop out just because of its existence. So I'm excited personally about it.
Speaking of new opportunities, Josef, I know that you guys are also quite actively involved in a number of collaborations and have worked very closely both with institutions, with other investors and VCs in the space. What do those collaborations look like on your end, and why are they important for you guys as an ingredient in local and global ecosystems?
Well, they depend on the partner, right? Like they have many different shapes and characteristics, but we are of the opinion that nothing happens in the bubble. We're also of the opinion that if we don't all work together, we're not going to build this industry and get it to a point where we see true mass adoption, but also global regulatory frameworks that actually allow for some of these companies to become the next Facebook and Google, in a decentralized and more transparent way. So it's just like we work with CB Labs and a number of other players in the field here. We think that the pie is big enough, and if we all pull the same direction, all have the same agenda, not only can we ensure that there is good players in the space that have the right motives, also that there is enough capital to be deployed into the right teams, and that in the end this will make us all stronger.
I think particularly on the VC side, right, the focus should be on increasing the size of the pie rather than fighting over the same piece.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, look, and we're so early in the game too, right? Like we don't even know how big the pie is really gonna be, but we just believe it's gonna be big enough, and so we're very collaborative on all levels, really.
Now, we've talked a lot about the potential of the space and the growing ecosystem. Ahmed, I know that your goal is to reach 30,000 businesses at the DMCC by 2025, right? How many of those realistically do you think will be blockchain based?
I can't say.
I don't need a concrete number, don't worry.
No, I do know a lot more will be related to coffee. I don't know how much it's going to be with cacao. I mean, there's a business on the low grade cacao beans, but the market, I think the last 2 years or 2 years ago was what, 5% fine cacao of the world chocolates is just 5% of that is fine, or specialty cacao, however you look at it, 70% of that would come from Ecuador. That is changing. Colombia is coming in strongly with new hybrids, new strains. What I saw in Brazil really impressed me, and they touch on the sustainability side with their Cabruca system, so they don't do any deforestation, even though it takes more land. Some of the chocolate businesses in Holland addressed the carbon emissions to zero with shipping using sailboats. I'm expecting
At the
a
end
lot
of the
of
day,
business,
though,
but
these are all.
I don't know if a lot of them are just going to be crypto as 100%. But I do see the meat center having a crypto aspect to it. CV Labs has done a project with Bolivia. It's from grass to cash, they call it Finca, I believe. With the company, I believe, established and set up in Switzerland for obvious reasons. But also, we have similar stories, work being done with Amazon Web Services and others looking to have traceability from crop to cup and all that. So there's some experiments, there's some things happening. I don't know how much it will be 100% blockchain or not. But I do expect a lot of the businesses that are currently in DMCC to have some aspect in there.
I was going to say, right, it doesn't have to be a concrete individual sort of blockchain company, but rather one that starts to integrate different use cases that are relevant for their respective industry, for their respective businesses, right? I know we've had
I want to say something. DGCX is looking at Bitcoin futures and Ethereum futures. They don't like me bringing it up because it puts pressure on them. I'm not saying when will they, if they will list it or something. It's not easy to list the shekel and all that. We don't want to list it just for fun. We would like it to be a profitable contract, or at least covering its cost, not just for price discovery. I also, after visiting Brazil and Mexico, I did touch on, did connect with my management in the exchange and talk to them about listing the Brazilian real and Mexico pesos. And there are two different types of currencies. I mean, you go to Mexico, a lot of your you pay for things using US dollars, but your business expense are still in pesos. So there are different dynamics to each country.
Yeah, absolutely. Joseph, on your end, we've seen sort of the initial boom, right, and outpouring of, or pouring in of companies in the blockchain and crypto space that are all relocating or setting up posts in Dubai. What are your hopes specifically for Draper Goren Holm's Dubai outpost, and what concrete things do you have in the pipeline that you think will cement your place in the Dubai ecosystem?
I mean, I think first and foremost, it's the capital that we bring and the expertise that we bring to the table. We've been doing this for a little while now. We have a very strong network. There's a lot of competition between VCs these days, right? Because you can raise money all sorts of ways as a blockchain startup. So if people are looking for VC money, it's not just the capital.
Joseph, I think you may have to restart that sentence. Sorry.
Where's he calling from?
He's tuning in from Dubai. So if it's working for you, Ahmed, it should be working for him. I think
I feel he's not a DMCC.
Yeah.
I feel he's not calling from DMCC. I have a feeling.
Yeah, no. I don't think
the background you guys doesn't look like JLT to me.
I'm afraid we may have lost him, actually.
We were the first free zone to roll out 5G technology, so I know it's not us.
I do believe we may have lost Joseph, unfortunately, but then let us close on this note. Let's see if he rejoins. Otherwise, let's close on this note. For companies that are interested in finding out more specifically about onboarding with the Crypto Center, what kind of licenses are currently available to crypto companies that they can use to operate under the DMCC?
I'm going to pass this to you or Joseph, really. I'm not going to get involved. But you know what? on the license.
Safe to say then, can we put it this way? Safe to say, if there are any companies that are interested in finding out more specifically about coming to the Crypto Center, they can get in touch with your team.
Definitely. And the details are on the website. Joseph, you're back online?
Excellent.
I'm back online. I need your 5G. That's the whole problem here.
Don't say where you are in Dubai. I'm gonna get heat for that. They'll think I said don't want the developers over there giving me angry calls. But I can see from the background. I almost where you are. I'm not gonna
you can see I'm in Jumeirah Beach Residences, and I'm stuck with tourist Wi-Fi here.
Okay. She was
but
asking what kind of licenses does the Crypto Center provide?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. That's not my cup of tea.
Tracy.
I know there are three different licenses.
We will happily recommend people to get in touch with the Crypto Center directly to find out any additional information they need. But Joseph, since we have you back,
before you close, I do want to say something. It's very diverse. You know, it's not all about exchanges and NFTs and all that. Evia, for example, does rating on crypto and blockchain businesses based on AI and machine learning. Why? Because they want to minimize human interference. I could say because some of the rating agencies did not do a good job before the crash of 2008. And I could say a lot more than that, but I don't want angry emails from them. Maybe not yet. In any case, if you want the honest type of rating, talk to Evia. They'll tell you about the new upcoming businesses and use your own best judgment. And as they grow, they are going to start doing ratings on institutions outside the crypto world as well. And I really look forward to seeing them get really global with their business.
All right, excellent. Joseph, you were cut short earlier. I do want to give you a final word. If you want to finish the thought that you so lovingly started, please go ahead.
I have no idea what I was talking about anymore, but exciting times. It's great to be here. I think we're already way over anyway. But it's we are happy to be here. We are here to stay. We are going to expand here. We're going to deploy more capital. If you are a startup looking for funding, hit me up on Twitter, on LinkedIn, or through our website, drapergorenholm.com. Always love to hear from great teams building great things. And I think that's the most important thing I have to say.
All right, lovely. Well, thank you so much for joining us, tuning in late at night from Dubai. It's been a pleasure having you, and I wish everyone else a very pleasant time at the LA Blockchain Summit. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you, Tracy.